Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalia, and this video is about the current war situation, various topics, Iran, and their role in Bible prophecy, because the scriptures talks about the Iranians very directly, and the scriptures talk about the spirit that Iran will have put upon them in these last days. And based on current events and what's happening, it is showing that spirit being put upon them. So here it is from RT: Israeli nuclear sites to face crushing blows, Iranian source to RT. The officials suggested that if another country joined the conflict on Israel's side, Tehran would only have more targets to destroy. And this spirit has been building up on them, because I remember several weeks ago this year that in Iran, in one of their cities, they had this big grand marching through the cities with the military and the police and everything, and they had like these missile looking objects, very large, they were parading around in the streets, talking about how they're ready to fight the state of Israel. They're ready to go to war. All right. So that has been building up to now the point of this escalation where the state of Israel and Iran are shooting missiles back at each other, going back and forth. All right. Which this actually contributes to the overall picture of the prophecy of World War III, Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. The second war is past, talking about World War II, and behold, the third war cometh quickly, which is World War III. So this is why we're seeing all of these things build up around the world. The escalation of the tensions between these major powers in the world. And this is, I was going to say something, but I lost track of it. Anyway, regardless of that, yes, as you can see, Iran, they are in a very specific spirit to fight. And it says Iran intends to continue its military response against Israel and could target its nuclear infrastructure, a senior Iranian security official has told RT. In an exclusive statement, they remain anonymous, said that Iranian armed forces will maintain missile and drone operations throughout the day, specifically targeting the occupied territories and Israeli garrisons. The official said Iran's response follows the Quranic advice on retaliation and warned that Iranian forces would respond to any extent and wherever the regime attacks Iranian soil. He noted, however, that based on Iran's moral principles, there would be no attacks on hospitals. The Zionists, talking about the state of Israel, regime's claim that Iran attacked one of the hospitals in the occupied territories is completely false. All right. He also stated that Tehran's response will be escalated in light of the Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. If the Israeli regime has attacked our nuclear facilities, our armed forces will subject their nuclear facilities to crushing blows. Right? They're not afraid to retaliate. Right? And why are they not afraid to retaliate? Because they know the huge backing that they have, and who's that? Russia. Right? In the book of Ezekiel chapter 38, it talks about Gog and Magog, which is talking about Russia, and Russia having the spirit put upon them to go to war, and then going to war also with a great alliance, and that alliance includes Persia, which is Iran. And it says as well, when you read further down, that Russia is a guard unto them. So Iran knows that Russia will go to their defense if anything escalates to a very high level. Right now, things are in fact escalating, okay, but it hasn't reached that point as yet in the prophecy where Russia is a guard onto its allies. It hasn't hit that point where, but it will eventually. It's the same way how the state of Israel is in these various different skirmishes, and the prophecy states that the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is talking about the least of the flock is the state of Israel will draw them out, talking about America. So they're going to go to war. So the actions of the state of Israel is going to draw out America to go to war. All right, but we haven't hit that point in Bible prophecy. Things are escalating towards these points. Okay, so then it says, without naming the U.S. directly, the Iranian official also warned that if another country directly enters into war with us, it will provide much more accessible targets for the Iranian armed forces to destroy. U.S. President Donald Trump has hailed Israel's attacks on Iran as excellent and has urged Tehran to surrender unconditionally. You see? So America does back, okay, by at least moral support that we're seeing, the state of Israel, and they just haven't directly gotten involved. But as you can see, the Iranians, they don't care, man. They're talking about if somebody else joins in, they're gonna strike at them too. All right, and this is that spirit man spoken about in 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 30. It says, also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Okay, so the Carmanians, who are these Carmanians? We have to go to Google, do a quick search. Okay, so Carmanian. All right, so we're going to skip the AI and we're going to go to here, which says Carmania. Right, Carmania is a historical region that approximately corresponds to the current province of Kerman, Iran, and was a province of many Iranic empires such as Medes, Achaemenid, Seleucid, Parthian, and Sicilian Empire. Okay, so then, we're already getting that this Carmania is related to Iran. All right, but we want to also go to a specific website that is no longer on the front page as it used to come up. One second. Yeah, I'm looking for it, and this is very interesting because it used to come up immediately. Carmanian. All right, so the website itself, right, is called Iranica Online, but it's not. I guess I have to now search it in this kind of way to find it. But even this isn't the same information that was there before. But it's saying from Germanoid, also Carmanians. Carmanians, name of an ancient Persian tribe engaged in farming. Okay, so the Persians are the Iranians. That's what they're known as today, and it's saying that they are the Carmanians. All right, but this is very interesting to have found this out today. Let's see, Carmanian, and then the website Iranical Online would come up with showing the same thing, but more in depth. That is showing that the Carmanians are related to the people that are the Iranians, once known as the Persians, and that it actually said something as well regarding to their biblical heritage, which it would say that or show that they are the biblical Elamites. But yes, it does appear that they have gotten rid of it. Maybe perhaps it has to do with the situation that's going on right now. I think this was the website. I'm not sure. Even that one's looking a bit different. You know, Esau changes things, man. But it is what it is. Let me search what Carmanian is here. And it's just this. Wow. Yeah, well, what can I say besides, they took away this information, but regardless, it is showing at least that the Carmanians are referring to the Persians who are known as Iranians today. And then the additional information that I do know that it was showing is that it did show that they are the biblical Elamites. All right, which is neither here nor there in the grand scheme of things. You know, the important part is that at least it can be shown that the Carmanians and Carmania refers to those people. All right. Okay. Here it is. I found something. I think it might be the same page. Maybe the website itself is just a little different. Let's see if the desktop website. Okay. Well, this will be sufficient enough. Okay, so it says Carmania, Old Persian, Carmania, rendered as Elamite. So there it is. Okay, cool. So it's not necessarily just gone, just harder to find. Well, that's cool as long as we can find it. Anyway, yes. So also the Carmanians, this is referring to the Iran, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The Assyrians referred to as the Edomites because they're going to be going to war. Iran is going to go to war, and they, as you can tell, man, they are ready to fight. They're ready to fight, and they're ready to destroy, and this is a specific spirit put upon them by the Lord. All right, the Lord spoke about them specifically regarding this, and so we're seeing it in real time. All right, and the Edomites are these so-called white people, and this is referring to, really America and the state of Israel losing, because Iran is in fact allied with Russia. So when that whole war starts over there in the so-called Middle East, which is Western Asia, then it's all just going to come to a head. All right, but yeah, man, with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai Bashmaka Kodesh. Shalom.